It's Lamb. Second and third options. He's looking. Has to release it. And it's caught. It's Pickens. Some time. Loading up. Going deep. Pickens. He's got it. Oh, come on. Prescott gonna launch it, going deep. CeeDee Lamb makes the catch. Scott and a keeping quarterback draw for the touchdown. Prescott. For Pickens. Safety coming over. Touchdown. Pickens. It probably down asleep. Squeezed his way through, end zone ahead. Dallas takes the lead. Cowboys Nation, stand up tall. We'll never let our fears fall. Let's go, baby! We'll always fight, determined to reach that height.
Well, TGIF, Dylan, Friday. We've made it through the week. Well, let's say everybody's working for the weekend. And yeah, here we are on Friday, ready for a weekend ahead of us. And summer has arrived. For those that don't know, summer is definitely upon us now, Dylan.
Brother, I couldn't wait for this week to end. Oh my gosh. Starting to get sick. You know, we have all these curses on this show, and this is the next one. I'm starting to get sick on Friday night, heading into a weekend of sleep and relaxation, I think. But all good. We're here to talk some football and some expectations versus excitement, right?
Yeah. Expectations, excitement. Where are we? Well, is this going to work? Okay, we're good now. All right, we got it situated. Yeah. I think it's been an interesting week. I think obviously on Monday we had our conversation. We kind of dove into some of those things of just kind of looking around the timeline, the fan base, where it's at, and coming, obviously wrapping up OTAs and then the mandatory mini camp and a lot of non-drama as we're typically not used to when it comes to the Cowboys this time of the year. And I think just a lot of things are trending in the kind of direction. Seems to be a lot of excitement circling around this team where it's at so far in the journey before we get out there to Oxnard and camp. But I think also too, I don't think the excitement necessarily dictates expectations or what those expectations will be. More of a clear-eyed view of what people are going to expect from the team in 2026 by the time we get, heading into September 13th, going into MetLife against the Giants. But right now, yeah, it's the honeymoon season, man. People are excited, and I think there's a lot of reason to be excited.
A lot of reasons to be excited. We covered a bunch of it on our show on Monday or Tuesday, whenever that came out. And, people kind of jump down your throat if you're excited about this thing, and you can list 100 reasons why it's okay to be excited. And listen, there are 100 reasons why you should be excited. Let's be honest, right? Doesn't mean you should be expecting a Super Bowl necessarily. Doesn't mean that's what you're excited about. Like if you are excited because this team's heading in the right direction, that's a great reason. If you're excited to see specific players play, like Caleb Downs, it's a great reason. And there's a lot of reasons to get up and get excited heading into camp here, then into the season. So don't let the naysayers get you down. You just plant your flag, be excited, and stand up for what you think.
Yeah, shouts to Yoda in the building. Get some particulars out of the way. Ron in the building. What's going on, Ron? Football fanatic was in here early before we started. See you pulling up early and dropping some comments in there. Rick Jr. in the building. What is going on? I love this from Double A. He's like, oh, countdown timer. Okay. Yeah, well, gotta let the people get in the place to be. Shout out to Vince as well. What's going on, man? Weston also in the building. I appreciate everybody stopping by on this Friday. Typically we're on Thursdays, but had some things going yesterday. We said, we'll just put it out to Friday and get in here. What a better Friday, what a better way to spend your Friday evening for a little bit, talking a little Cowboys. And as Rick Jr. says, I'm excited. And I think we all should be to a certain extent, right?
Yeah. And yeah, Double A, man. When I was making that countdown timer, I got goosebumps every now and then with the announcer coming on and just reminding me all the cool things that happened last season. So hopefully that gets some of y'all excited to just jump in here and hang out too. That was my
for sure. There he is. Oh, my fault. My Kyle Mack in the building. So as we're going to talk about expectations and we're going to talk about excitement and where people are, we also are opening up a little bit. It is pinned in the YouTube chat, or if you happen to be in our Discord as well, is a link and you can join. And, instead of just a call in line, you can click and come right on air with us. Whether you want to have your camera on or not, that's completely up to you. And give your position to where it is, right? And kind of open this up and have a little fun with the fan base and everybody in general. Obviously we appreciate the chats and everybody here in the chat and chopping it up in all spectrums of social media where you're at. But if you do happen to come over to YouTube or if you're in the Discord, we do have that link for you to come on in, jump on air with us and have some conversations. And speaking of which, we got a guy already in the building ready to come up and chop it up. Our guy Rick in the building. Rick, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Man, fantastic,
man,
brother.
How are you?
Totally aesthetic. I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
Especially, I'm all set for Oxnard too.
There we go. Yeah, so Rick and I and a few others were heading out to Oxnard in August, right at the start of camp, and sharing an Airbnb, gonna party, have some fun. It was a lot of fun last year. Rick, you weren't there last year, so we'll show you the ropes a little this year. Show you on Oxnard, and there's a couple dive bars.
Dylan, are you hitting him with the Rico Dowda? Rick, you better buckle up. Is that what I'm hearing here? You better buckle up.
So last year we it was really funny because I got kids. I don't go out very often. I don't drink very much, right? And so this was an experience that it was a blast. There was very little sleep. I was sleep deprived by probably the second day. We were there for 3 or 4 days, and I think we got about 3 hours of sleep each night. So yeah, it's a big time fun party, and can't wait to get out there with you, Rick, and the others.
Yeah, but I know it's COVID, but shout out to Cal Yeoman, going to be the voice of the Ravens.
Oh, that's bittersweet for me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's we weren't like buds or anything, but I was able to share a couple drinks with them last year at Oxnard. Super cool dude, came out to hang out with us and Nick and Chris and Tommy and everybody. So, just that short experience I had with Kyle was pretty cool. Super chill dude. I mean, just as cool as he is on air, right? Super knowledgeable guy, and I'm happy. I know he wanted to be like the next Brad Sham, I was told, and looks like he got it, right? He got it out in Baltimore. Yeah. So good for him, man.
For sure.
For pursuing a dream and getting it.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty. And shout out to Sham, right? And obviously, long term, as long as he's been the voice of the Cowboys and what he's done, that was pretty. I thought with Kyle and everything, how they built it, I thought it was going to be a little, over the next year or two, see that little transition seemed to be pretty seamless, and how they were kind of letting, how Kyle was obviously doing the preseason work and where that thing was trending. And when you have good guys in the building, and there's a lot of good guys in the building at times for the .com, you lose some. But Kyle, I would say this for Kyle, gentleman who on my other back in the day, more than happy to come on YouTube, and we had some good times there in a couple of different shows. We would come in, have conversations in the spaces even from time to time. back and forth, exchange some messages here and there. Always pleasant, funny dude, and very, very down to earth. Appreciate Colin what he did. Wish him nothing but the best, obviously, with the Ravens. Wish we always one of ours. Wish he would stay around a little bit longer, but it comes in. It's part of the business.
So is week 3 a revenge game down in Brazil now?
Well, it's got to be the Kyle Yeomans game now, right? I mean, it's got to be now. I mean, I'm gonna need a no-see and Kyle out there in midfield having some conversations.
I'm going to be going on the NFL Plus, the replay. I think you can listen to the broadcast after the game, and so I'll probably go back and listen to him call that game afterwards. That'd be kind of neat to hear that from the Baltimore side.
No, big facts. But Rick, let me ask you. So, as Kim said, you're excited, obviously excited for Oxnard. I mean, just for the Cowboys right now, kind of what we're getting into, the excitement level currently, as we're getting into late June, about a month and a little bit of change away from actual Oxnard and training camp. On a scale level, 1 to 10, Rick, how excited are you about the Cowboys right now?
I'm a 7.5.
Okay.
8 type thing. Excited about CP and Clayton Adams in second year and Shoddy's second year. I'm also excited with big Ohio State fans, so I'm excited about Caleb Downs.
There you go. We did draft Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Every episode, got to mention it.
That we got to.
But I'm excited. Look what the defense can do this year. I think we could be in the 25 to 20 range. That'd be a very good. If we're higher, that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Better teams better look out for the Cowboys defense this year.
Yeah, I think part of the excitement is watching it get built, Dylan. I mean, I think that's where we are. That's just part of the excitement of with the Parker in the room and the amount of 7 to 8 new starters potentially for this team with the draft they had. We did draft Caleb Downs once again. We'll never get tired of saying that around these parts. That's exciting in seeing where it is. It's going to be exciting in Oxford for you guys going out there, but just in general, it's going to be exciting from that standpoint.
Yeah, and you mentioned the defense, man. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about the defense. I mean, Caleb Downs is one of like 1,000 reasons. They rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up. We talked about 8 new starters, all the guys behind them. Bleed blue. That's exactly right. Barham. We're excited about Barham. I don't know how much play time he's going to get or exactly how he'll be used, but we know that they have a vision with him. He'll, line up at middle linebacker. He'll line up off the edge in a 5-man front and blitz. He's just going to be used as, I think, a heat-seeking missile type guy. Not really going to be asked to go do a ton of coverage, I wouldn't think. But he's going to be a guy that he's going to make his impact known, I feel like, pretty early in the season. A big hit or two is going to get a lot of us pretty amped up. But, you look at the rest of the units, the D-line rebuilt between the trades they made last season and this season, the signings they made. Cornerback room is healthy adjacent now with Bland. We'll see, what's up with him come camp, but he's expected to participate. But Revel's healthy. You signed, obviously, Durant. So a lot of reasons to be excited about basically every position group across the defense. Will they be good or not? They'll be better. I'm pretty sure we can say they'll be better. Will they be good enough to get us to where we want to be? TBD. We'll see.
It all depends on the training camp. If the guy can get through healthy, Overshown get through healthy, and Bland be able to, show something in training camp if he's fully healthy, and go from there, because there's a battle for the cornerbacks position based on how healthy the Rebel and Bland are. Like Durant could be a starter at day 1, but we'll see.
Yeah, you mentioned Guyton too at the beginning of that. Sorry, Nick. You mentioned Guyton just real quick, and health. That's it. I mean, that's it for him, right? Can he actually get through a camp healthy? Can he participate in preseason as much as they want him to participate in preseason? Can he begin to take that next step? Because sure, he's developed, right? He's had some higher highlights, but his lows are still too low. He's not consistent enough. His floor is still too low. And that's part of that development where you just got to stay healthy and develop. And if he does that, I hope it's not too late for him.
Yeah, I'm with you with Guyton. And also, I mean, Kalen Carson's another guy too, right? I mean, Carson, who just is also same draft, and you see glimpses, but doesn't get through camp healthy, and then he gets into season and gets banged up. He's a guy defensively in which from the cornerback position, because that's what it is with the cornerback position. Be excited about everything that they're bringing to the table, but how's it going to shake out with these corners and some of the health issues they've had there, and that Carson and Guyton for me is just like, hey, let's just start of the ground. Just let's get through training camp healthy. How about that for the first time in your third season, guys?
Right. I mean, that's a great first step, especially for Guyton, man. First round pick.
Health is wealth.
We all knew Guyton was a developmental player. Carson a little more slack, a little more leeway on that pick, but we know at this point in Guyton's career, we would have expected him to be a starting caliber left tackle, and he's just not that yet. And I don't think it's necessarily close. But like I said, hopefully he can get through camp and show us something different this season.
Been watching which Fox has a little saying that he was saying all this doing all right stuff is that he points out that goes Guyton, and they will take somebody like Nate Thomas. Nate Thomas is not reaching Guyton, but Durant could be touching Bland's or Rebel's shoulder. So I'm right there. You mess up. Where other players, you like, he can't touch. They're not like Brevin Spanford. He's like close to be touching Ferguson, but Schoonmaker's probably just touching Brevin Spanford, not even close to Ferguson.
Yeah. I think Brevin Spanford is going to take Schoonmaker's place probably this year. Ferguson, we want more out of Ferguson. Ever since his injuries, he's already a slow tight end. Got hurt. He's been even slower. Now, he did have the third most touchdowns from the tight end group in the NFL last season, so it's not like he's a bum or anything. He used to have a little more juice than he has now. Maybe he picks it back up this season, but I'm dying to see Brevin Spanford there at tight end too. And, the question is, and I saw this on, I think it was Locked On, they posed a really good question. Is Brevin Spanford a better blocker than Jake Ferguson is pass catcher? And that's how they might determine and see that tight end one spot as the season goes on.
Perhaps. I don't think tight end one's in any kind of concern whatsoever. I think we were having the conversation before, and a lot of people think Spanford just really outsnapped Schoonmaker a ton last year. And I was like, well, not really. It's not even like Schoon doubled him, but Spanford was used so much in the red zone for the blocking capabilities and a bigger target and what he could do. I think people just remember him more being there at that point in time, because I think it was like 32% Schoon versus the 16% for Brevin Spanford. But again, year 3, let's get after it and go do what you need to do. Contract year, right? And I think the things that we do see from him from a physicality standpoint, we want to see more from him, obviously dealing with look, the up and down. And once some of the things with Schoonmaker, because he was taken in the second round. Let's just be clear. He was taken in the second round, and he is who he is as a player, and there's some of the negative backlash on that last year of his deal as well, too. And I think we see Spanford in those roles and what he's doing, coming across the line and just absolutely destroying the edge. He's just full speed ahead, and that gets you excited, when it comes to that.
100% agree.
Rondell, what's going on, Rondell? How you doing this Friday, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah. You guys probably see I'm the IPA Poppy on Discord. So
that's what's up.
I can see you in real time. Yeah.
What's going on,
so
brother?
Not too much. Excited to have you guys out here in Los Angeles for, well, technically Ventura County. You guys won't actually be in Los Angeles, but yeah. Hold on one second.
I know how that goes.
Gets loud sometimes.
Yeah. I might have to drop to come back.
Okay,
Nice.
I'll get no worries. He said, "Hey, I'm on a call, dude."
yeah. I had a kid playing harmonica last week during our
that was pretty fun.
recording, so
It was really good. I heard. I was like, "Oh, I was like, wow, look at there."
Yeah.
Good job from the stage. It's all good till he comes back. So yeah, but again, the tight end room. Where does it look? How does it lay? And look, you got Trig in there as well, and people are going to be excited to see that. Look, I think in a lot of ways, Cowboys Nation is like we're ready for Schoon to move on and battle it out and see where it is. But the Spanford, look, I don't think anybody's touching Ferg as far as anybody within the room whatsoever when it comes to that.
Yeah, I wonder as the season goes on. I just wonder, especially. Okay, here's a question for you, because I was thinking about this morning. Because I said Cowboys probably. I put out a video yesterday or something. Cowboys probably want a dynamic running back room where it's power and speed, right? A power guy and a speed guy. What if though What if they got all these guys on the outside, the receivers, receiver 1, 2, 3, right? All really good playmakers, especially 1 and 2. Okay. What if they said, we're just going to, with our 3 interior linemen as strong and as powerful as they are, bulldozers, we're just going to go power and power. And that means Javonte Williams and Phil Maffa. And forget the home run threat at running back, all that stuff, right? What if they just went power, 3 interior linemen, right? Super strong. And then does that then, at that point, do they consider Brevin Spanford more as their run blocker at that point over Jake Ferguson? Maybe he doesn't get as many snaps as Jake Ferguson, but he sees a much larger snap count than maybe we expect if they were to go with a straight up just power run game versus the power and speed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that would, but I think the cut you would see, right, would be more into Schoonmaker. And, because 31, 32-ish versus the 16, I think is where it was at. I had to go back and look. It was somewhere low 30s and right there in the mid-teens is what the breakdown was. And then you see that flip a little bit more because now he's going to get those red zone looks that he was getting, talking about Spanford blocking or what have you. But now they're going to do a little bit more running of that ilk as you're speaking of in between the 20s. And does that get Spanford up more? And how much do they want to get to the 12 personnel versus 11? Now, if you saw something about 11 personnel with that run look,
that's my
right
question.
now could that bring Ferguson down a little bit? It'll be an interesting concept. And how much will you see that? Then you get to, are you tipping the hand? Oh, they're around the 50. Spanford's in, Ferguson's out. Here comes and then how you disguise it. Those things come into play.
Spanford's got to offer receiving element too. He can't just be like, oh, he's in the game. He's a run block or whatever. It's run play. He's definitely got to add a receiving element. I just wonder. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but I was wondering because it's not crazy to think that they could go Maffa Williams and you just got 2 guys that are anvil the defense all game long up the middle, right? And then as the game goes on, they wear down, and maybe that's the plan. I mean, who knows? I think I still prefer the power speed combo, the Blue and Javonte, but just a thought I had, this morning.
But the point you made in your video, yes, or something like that, except like Dad said, Maffa is I think Maffa is your backup to Williams. If Williams needs rest or Williams gets hurt, you bring in Maffa to play his role, but Jaden Blue stays at his role as the speed guy. So you could use him in the passing game. You can use him to, like not saying that Blue is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, but he kind of in that role type thing where he can run out of the backfield quickly or run into a pass game and throw it to him, or even like the Patriots did with I just had it out of mind, but now I can't think of them. The running back,
White.
Yeah, James White or the other guy.
Yeah, and I think that's the conventional logic, right? That makes the most sense. I think that's probably what we all foresee happening is Blue Williams, your 1-2 combo in the other order. But I wonder. I just wonder. I guess that's all. And I guess we'll see in preseason. If Maffa shows out and Blue doesn't, regardless of whose speed, whose power, if Maffa's over here getting 60 yards a game and Blue's getting, 10 similar touches and Maffa's running guys over, I mean, do you really just like, well, I got to have a speed element, so I can't have him on the field? Or, do they decide that Maffa's the guy at that point?
Well, bring on training camp. Right? I mean, bring on training camp is, what it's there for. I mean, do they carry 3? That's something I've been talked about throughout the process. We're kind of stuck on I won't say stuck, but we're just kind of used to the idea that they're going to carry 2. That's kind of the Hunter Lipke effect. You're just going to carry 2. That's just how it rolls. I just wonder, is it going to be something a little bit different for them this year? What they're trying to accomplish? What they think about carrying 3? But again, it's another exciting part on the outside looking in of getting the training camp up. Man, how is the rest of this room going to pan out?
Yeah, well, and it's 3. Are they going to carry 3 plus Lipke too? So really 4-ish guys, right at that point.
H-back, H-back-ish kind of deal, whatever. But he's a halfback, but he's a fullback. But it's a lot of that.
Carries the game,
I agree. I agree. Double A, they love to go short there. Does Shoddy want to continue to go short there though? I think last year his hand was kind of forced to go short there. Maffa's injury. Blue not ready. Sanders obviously does get hurt, so then you get, Malik Davis in there. So I mean, they do like going short though. But that's the Lipke effect though.
It'll be an interesting competition, and yeah, we'll definitely get a lot of looks at that in camp. These preseason games, I think, is going to determine a lot too. I really think that. And
joint practices as well.
For Blue too, he also has the special teams effect too, right? And we talked about Turpin possibly being on the hot seat, the lukewarm seat, and he even shot back at you because of it. And Turpin is not a fan of your guy Nick's, unfortunately.
No, he's not.
But if Blue goes and returns 2 kicks, right, for touchdowns in the preseason, like what does that do all of a sudden, right? I mean, you gotta have the question, right?
Well, could they carry 4 running back with the Lipke thing, and be short and say 5 wide receivers instead of 6 or something like that?
It just depends on special teams, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you can play with the
Mingo
numbers.
would be the guy out, so.
You think?
I mean, Mingo might be the guy out anyways. I mean, we'll see. Right?
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, what a terrible time for him to have the injury last year, where I thought he was putting some things together in preseason and where things were heading. The injury happened. The season got along. By the time he came back, flow had arrived. It's just kind of where it was at. And, here we are, obviously in OTAs, and there he is working on the ropes, getting himself ready for camp. I mean, I wish nothing but the best. I mean, we did trade a 4th-round pick. Would love for him to walk through the door and compete at a high level, but it might be one of those where, man, we're just going to look back. Just didn't quite pan out, unfortunately.
Yeah. He's a guy that it's always like, oh, if he could just get a good ball thrown his way, or if he could just stay healthy, or just always waiting for something. And it is, if whatever reason it is, it just doesn't click. And you almost feel bad for the guy. But at a certain point in time, it just is what it is. And if you got guys waiting in the wings like a Hole and whoever else, it is what it is, unfortunately.
But see, it's exciting having all these different conversations about what can be, whether it's the running back, we're talking about the cornerback, tight end, what can be. And I think there's people that everyone are fans of at different points and what they want to see and to win those positions or get that bump in snap count. Right. I think the excitement there level is that feeds into it. Right. Nothing of this is an expectation, of what the season's going to be, Super Bowl or bust, playoffs or bust. Right. We're not putting no kind of expectation of where the team's going to be at right now. We haven't got to Oxnard yet, but having the excitement of what these rooms look like, how things can come together. I think it's fun in general to be a fan and be excited about your team and things that are going on without the lure or the anchor of expectations right now.
Yeah, I mean, we all hear the jokes. Everybody's always like, Cowboys fans every year, it's their year. Well,
yeah.
Nobody actually, does anybody say that? Like one person maybe? Like, it's not the whole.
I think you
very
did
few
once,
people.
Dylan. I think you did once. I'm just joking.
yeah, I need a timestamp on that, please. But no, we get made fun of, right, for that. Nobody ever says it or believes it. Nobody expects a Super Bowl. I mean, the safest thing that you could say in all of sports is that your team's not going to win a Super Bowl. Like
Sure.
Every year, you could go 50 years without winning a Super Bowl for God's sakes. You know what I mean? And what the goal is to set yourself with a good enough team that. Because not a lot of it, but some of it is luck. So you've got to build a good enough team to get into the playoffs, a good enough team to put yourself in position to have some luck, and then your good team gets the luck and goes on or whatever. There's just so many factors in single elimination playoff games where it's like, how could you really confidently pick a team to go win a Super Bowl? You can't do it, and that's where I'm like, expectations out the window. I expect this defense to be better than last year. I expect this offense to be similar, maybe a little better, maybe a little worse, but just around that same area they were last year. And that's as far as my expectations go. Better defense and a really good offense. What is it? What happens with it? Who knows? But man, I am excited about it. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I saw somebody, Nick's pulled it up. Somebody's talking about Malik Davis. I mean, there's another guy that could pull, show up or whatever and say, okay, somebody else has to take a seat. I'm joining this foray.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's a guy too from last season where I think we got through the season a little back like, man, they probably should have hit him the ball a little bit more. When the opportunity he did have, I think he did really good things. And that's a guy that maybe he should have got the ball a little bit more, right? Coming into this now, and remember, he wasn't even on the team at this point last year, right? He was at home sitting on the couch, and then he gets the call to come to camp finally and took full advantage of them opportunities. And I talk about that a lot about guys. When the door's open for you, you got to walk through and do the best when you get those opportunities. And and compete, which I think he did well. And, sure, the guys that were drafted in Mafia and Blue is where the expectation sits. But I'm with you there, though, Rick. Hey, Malik Davis came in at this thing last year, said, yeah. No, I got something to say still. I can get the job done. And he did last year with the limited opportunities he had.
It's just with Malik Davis, it's weird because he just does the job. But, like, he's not a super fast guy. He's not a super powerful guy. He's not like he doesn't have any sort of aspect to his game where you're like, wow, that's really super impressive. I really like this guy. But he just does the job. And that in and of itself is kind of a superpower, right? Just doing it's kind of like the Jalen Hurts thing. Not great at a lot of different things, but he just does the job and he gets it done, goes wins Super Bowl, right? I mean, Malik Davis is the Jalen Hurts of running backs, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, okay. I won't touch that one. I'm gonna leave that one all the way alone. There will be no clips of Knicks tonight on this Friday. I'm gonna let that way. I'm just gonna sit over and just be excited. That's where I'm gonna be at. And where it is, as everybody's coming, appreciate y'all as always. Make sure you hit the like and sub. If you're on any other platform outside of YouTube, I always slide over here to Dallas Cowboys Coalition, sub, hit a like, join, and of course we do have the link over here as well if you want to come join the broadcast pinned to the chat. Rick gave the 7.5 out of 10 excitement heading into training camp. Dylan, I don't know if I got what's your 1 out of 10 excitement level for this team heading into training camp.
I think you know. Well,
I mean, the people might want to know.
It's a 9.9 on the Richter scale.
There you go.
Listen, it's not even because I think this team's going to be in the playoffs. Just from schedule analysis of the team.
Oh, you're getting his expectations over there, Dylan. Your little expectations.
Well, that's as far as I'm going to go. That's as far as I'm going to go in expectations. I expect them to compete for a playoff spot and probably get one. All right. I think they'll be probably the best team in the NFC East this year. The Eagles are taking a step back, in my opinion. They've lost some players, obviously the A.J. Browns of the world, some coaches. We poached one of their coaches, right? They've lost some pieces, and now you have some drama between Hurts and Sirianni. Hurts lost, like I said, A.J. Brown. They gave him a guy that thrives in the middle of the field, but Jalen Hurts doesn't throw in the middle of the field. He's good when he does it, but he just doesn't do it because he's risk adverse. So this is a big season for Jalen Hurts, and can he step up and now start to carry the team on his shoulders like Dak Prescott has done for so many years? I don't know because we haven't seen it. We've seen Jalen Hurts go out and make a couple throws, win a couple games, right, when you need him to. But can he carry the team 60 minutes every single week and go put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns? I don't know. We haven't seen it. We'll see. But I think that team has a lot of question marks that I'm not sure are going to work out in their favor. The Commanders and the Giants, I'm not really that worried about until they prove to me that they can do something with their lives. Now I say that, you never know. But I think the Cowboys are the one team that you can point to and say, wow, they improved here. I don't think they got worse anywhere. I mean, I'm not sure you can point to a position and say they got worse. They got better through the coaching staff. They got better through the player acquisitions. So I think the Cowboys are on their way up. Eagles are on their way down. I think the Cowboys probably win the NFC East is my assumption. And that's about as far as my expectations go. We'll see what they do after that. But as far as excitement goes, I mean, that right there is why I'm excited for this season.
Yeah, I'm not touching any of that.
You don't want to talk about Jalen Hurts? Let's
no,
what do you think about Jalen Hurts?
I got to get to camp. It's too soon for me. It's too soon for me.
Yeah,
I like a lot of things that I have, but I need to see a little bit more kind of play out. But from excitement standpoint, though, I'm absolutely excited. I'm absolutely excited because it is the unknown, although the feeling is better. And we drafted Caleb Downs. So there's excitement. We signed a Jalen Thompson. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what this defense can look like. I'm very excited to see in this offense in year 2, right? Because we talked about how most of these coaches offensively were rookies for the most part. Sure. Shotty's been a coach and called plays in this league. He's never been a head coach before. It's rookie. Clayton Adams, phenomenal offensive line coach, but rookie OC. Coach Riles, yeah, he's offensive line and offensive coordinator over there at K-State, but never in the NFL. Junior Adams, wide receiver coach, right? So it was a bunch of guys, not saying they were learning on the job, but it's different. And now we're in the year 2 of the program, and we even heard Shotty kind of talk about Clayton Adams and how he got a little bit more comfortable with the passing game and the wide receivers and having those kind of conversations. So I'm excited to see that in year 2, obviously with Pickens being back. How does the running back room come together? Where does Flo go in the next, with step 2 of that? even Guyton as much, not excuse my Guyton, but as Booker, as much as we like what Booker did last year, he'll be better from year 1 to year 2. So I'm excited about the offense taking that step forward in year 2 of the program, along with what all the additions are defense and what that means. Give me a 9. Give me give me a 9. Give me a 9 out of 10 of excitement.
So just let me ask you. I know you don't want to touch too much in the expectation front, but do you think the Cowboys got better this offseason?
I trust everything. Or well, do I believe they got better?
Come on,
this
stand on the hill, plant the flag, say it. I know you do.
I believe everything and trust nothing.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
I believe,
You're
I
a
believe,
politician.
I believe everything, but I trust nothing. Yes, and what I mean by that is I believe that Christian Parker is this guy that's going to be so phenomenal. In 2 years he'll be gone in the head coach because he's done just a good job. I believe, but he hasn't called a defensive play yet, ever in his career. Can I trust it?
Well, here's what you have to trust, right?
Okay, what I have to trust. I'm with it.
Here's
listening.
how you know it's better, right? The defense is better. Are they better than the worst defense that's ever played for the Dallas Cowboys? Will this defense? Can you confidently say this defense will be better than that?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's by 1 yard, yes.
Okay.
They will.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. By those terms, absolutely. There's no way they'll be that bad this year. Correct. And look, for those who haven't been around me, they were really the 39th defense in the league last year. There's just only 32 teams, so they just had to be 32nd. That's just how poor they were throughout some of the EPA numbers and different things as you look and just how far behind they were everyone else. But yes, I mean, just lining up in the right positions will probably be better.
Yeah,
honestly.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, you got there's so many reasons to think they'll be more than just a little bit better, and not like elite levels better, but like adequate enough levels that will help this team make the next step. And what I mean is this: is you've got the second year of Quinnen Williams, right, paired with Kenny Clark. Really, not even second year. I mean, these guys, you got one guy traded 5 days before the season started, one guy traded for in the middle of the season. So really, they get one full camp together. Neither guy's played with anybody else next to them that's been as good as the other one throughout their career, right? And Kenny Clark's a little long in the tooth, but hopefully he'll get a little rejuvenation here with Quinnen next to him. But you added Rashawn Gary, right? Probably better than any DN we had on the team last year. I can say that confidently. A guy that we have a lot of confidence in. I know I'd see AA in the chat. AA may not have as much confidence in Gary as the rest of us do, but I think he'll be fine. Year 2 as Zaraku. And I'm not going to go on, but I could go on and on about all these positions that they upgraded, right? And they're clearly upgraded these positions. And now you got rid of Flus, and yes, we have not seen Parker call a play, but my goodness gracious, there's so many reasons to believe, just from the feeling across the league, that this guy is going to be a star. There's so many reasons to believe that this guy really will help this team take that next step. And he'll be better than Flus right out the gate, in my opinion. So, yes, I think this team got better. And then we touched the Eagles, and you don't have to touch the Eagles, but I think the Eagles got worse just from a player personnel standpoint, some of the coaching stuff they did. I think they got worse. We'll see come the season. But I think they're moving in different directions, man. So when I say the Cowboys win the NFC East, I think it's pretty fair to understand why somebody might think that, right? And expect that.
No. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I get that spectrum of it as to why you would look at it that way. I'm just like, I'll just have to wait and see camp a little bit and see some things and taste get a little more football in the air, taste a little bit differently.
The biggest thing for camp is just health. It's just, you say health as
well,
right? Get through
health
healthy,
well.
and then we'll see.
Right, that's going to matter. And look, I'll be peeking ears open and listen to other things in the division that's not Cowboys related to see how things are maneuvering or happening and whatnot, to get a little bit of a vibe check and see where it is. But again, my expectation is, yes, going to camp, this team will be better in camp than they were last year. How about that? There's an expectation for you. How about that?
Perfect.
But
what do you think?
Yeah, after listening to everything, and my expectation grade was earlier, I'm bumping that up because of the way I've been talking and listening.
He's more excited now.
It's an 8.5. Because I'm excited for the season. I agreed that Philadelphia's going to do. We're going to win the division. We're going to make the playoffs. Right. My expectation that we win the division and make the playoffs. My hope is we get to the NFC Championship game or higher. But we'll go with that. But I agree with just saying Dylan saying with the expectation is higher. I would definitely I agree with him too on the defense. It's gonna be way better than last year. We increased way higher. Coaching, players, everything. We only have.
Let me ask this question then, right? Because my excitement is not based off expectation, but when I'm listening for both y'all, is y'all's expectations why you're more excited? Is that a better way to maybe position it? Is that what you're expecting from this team has got you a little bit more excited than where you think you're at? Or
if there was a timeline of things, right, it would be like, okay, we're here, or I guess opposite. I don't know, Cameron. We're here.
Oh, here,
right?
down here, about down here, just kind of go up.
Okay, there we
right,
go.
There we go.
That's better. I'm trying to do it backwards. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's reversed. So, okay, start down here, right? Excitement level, expectations kind of match down here, okay? Expectations are still down here as we start to make some moves, but the excitement increases because I'm seeing them add guys like Caleb Downs. I'm seeing them add Christian Parker. I'm seeing them get the Malachi Lawrences, trade for Rashawn Gary. I'm seeing all these things that are starting to increase my excitement level. And then when I take a step back, and now free agency's done, right? We got the bodies that we're pretty much going to have. Maybe they tinker with some UFL guys or something here and there, but we pretty much got what we got. And now I'm starting to evaluate rosters. And so now excitement's here, and my expectations are starting to rise to meet my excitement level. I would say my excitement level, like I said, is 9.9. My expectations are probably an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. And what I mean by that is, like, am I confident this team can meet my expectations? And my expectations are to win the NFC East would be my expectation for this season. Can the team meet that? That's why I'm like a 7, 8 out of 10 on that front. But excitement is, and that's it. Double A said it pretty. Excitement is greater than expectations, and I think that's a really good way to look at it. I think that's probably the same for a lot of people, and where a lot of people get confused, and it's even confusing as I try and explain it, the difference and stuff. But like, you can definitely be excited without having massive Super Bowl caliber expectations, just based on where you see the team heading down the road.
Okay. SoCal coming in. Is the Brooks trade dead? Yes, for all intents and purposes. I think whenever they made the calls during day 2, and they did call Miami, then they did call Houston, and then they took Winters, and then at 92 took Barham. I think that pretty much put the Brooks trade to bed. Happy with the linebacker room going into this year. If you could buy the health of one DeMaurian Overshown, I think you feel pretty good about it. But therein lies the problem, right? You can't buy the health. It's 3 seasons. You haven't been able to buy the health of DeMaurian Overshown yet. So cautiously optimistic, Rick Dillon. Maybe is where I would be at. I think Winters is a guy. I don't think Winters is all pro, right? I don't think Winters is all pro. I think he's absolutely the kind of linebackers the Cowboys. I got them go sideline to sideline to make tackles. And sorry, we just haven't had that in the past couple of years. And that's just be very refreshing. Now, outside of that, right, we're excited to see the young man in Shamar James at 21. What is Barham going to look like in this thing? And can ultimately DeMaurian Overshown stay healthy for a season?
Yeah, and don't forget Caleb Downs is going to be playing down a lot, whether that's in the slot or, kind of the nickel star guy all over the field. Thompson will be in that role as well, so you'll have reinforcements there. But I think the linebackers are going to be refreshingly good, even if from an individual talent standpoint, they aren't exactly like elite guys. I think that your defensive line, specifically, the 2 guys in the middle with Clark and Quinnen, helps your linebackers immensely. And the scheme with the gap and a half scheme here, they're going to be playing a lot with these defensive linemen. That's going to help these linebackers a lot.
Agreed. I mean, it's going to be competition on the who's going to be the Mike. We'll find through preseason and training camp is the Mike, whether it be Overshown if he'd be healthy, or whether it be something stepping up from James or Barham or something like that.
Right.
But we'll find out.
James is a guy I'm excited about. You talk about sideline to sideline. That's a fast guy, right? We'll see if he develops in year 2. Obviously, a later round draft pick. They traded up to get him in a draft. But he was better than people recognized last year. He wasn't a bad player. He was telling the vets where to line up, so he's got some brain power to him, and he can fly.
What
It's
if?
just a matter.
What if it was just a look, man? it was just so bad around the way that he shined that way, or is it really obtainable? Because we want to throw out somebody like the other stuff, like, man, I don't know what to say about this. Just throw it out.
That's a fair point.
But but again, super young. That's what excites you, though. Super young, right? And going into year 21, I'm going year 20 of his life, I should say. But again, for me, that's where my excitement is in this room and where it is. In again, great question of SoCal about the linebacker, room. Man, if you had the secret sauce to, like, all right, here, this is it for you, Demo. Your Sean Lee career arc is done and over with, and you're going to be healthy the rest of the way. I think there's a very high level of what we could get from the linebackers, but unfortunately, it's just not how it's been for him. But I'm still very excited about D. So we had the conversation, Dylly, I think it was last week. We talked about contracts a little bit. I would be more willing to give Winters a contract right now than DeMarion Overshawn. It's just where I would be.
He's got more skins in the wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the asking price and all that, but if it's reasonable, get him done, sure. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this about Shamar James. If he's your worst linebacker on the team this year, then your linebacker room is in pretty good shape.
You've elevated. Yeah, you've elevated the room. And I think that's something you want to talk about a lot. And feels like the Cowboys did a good job of elevating a lot of rooms as we head to camp. What they've added the back side of the wide receiver room, the corners, obviously we talk about Kobe Durant. The other gentleman we added from the Rams as well, too. You're getting Butler back. You drafted the kid from Florida. You putting some different types of bodies into the linebacker room and doing that. And look, even getting to the Gary, where people, I know as Double A talked about a little bit earlier that people think he's just all-world pass rusher. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing that sector of the Cowboys fan base. I don't see that much coming from Cowboys fans, and maybe there is a sector out there talking about Gary within the crazy pass rush. I don't view him that way, but I think you raised the floor of the room from where you were last year and kind of got your D-Law replacement. And then you go add, Malachi Lawrence to that rotation. Year 2 Izaraku, right, should take a step forward. Again, you just raised the floor in a lot of these positions. I think it's very exciting where with a coach said that we saw those similarly hired, how the offensive staff was put together last year is basically how the defensive staff got put together this year with a lot of young-minded teaching style, developing style of guys. So there's even get like a BT Jordan, who's a pass rush specialist. He's a very specialized kind of coach in here to help, and he's working with everyone and giving tips to the offense. Like those kinds of things, I think just raise the floor. Obviously, you got some dogs within the spectrum too. When we talk about Caleb Downs or Jalen Thompson, I think Thompson's the guy that a lot of the fan base, he's more game than name, and they're going to be pleasantly surprised once he gets on the field and see what he brings to the table. Because everyone keeps hyping up Kobe Durant. No disrespect to Kobe Durant. I'm telling you now, Jalen Thompson's a better player than Kobe Durant, and the fan base hypes up and talks about Kobe Durant all the time without any kind of talk or second hand anything about Jalen Thompson. Thompson's a better player than Kobe Durant. No disrespect, just say this is just what it is. So yeah, just raise the floor of these rooms. Got some young coaches in here we're excited about, and to me, that's where I'm at. It's that down the line as we're going into training camp, where sure, maybe that's the way we're talking about expectations and excitement. And as y'all talking, where your excitement is now, your expectations start to rise a little bit, and where can that land? I'm just not there yet. Ooh, that's another good one there. The Charleston, I don't know about that's too early for me. SoCal, the Stoughton pickup from the Raiders, 6'6", 245. You're into those kind of things as an edge, long arm, wingspan. Just don't know enough about him, man. And how's that rotation going to look? He's a guy like. Definitely looking for him in camp early to see what happens, but yeah, way too early for me to even. Right now, gun to that, no, he doesn't make the roster. That's where I'd be at right now because I just don't know what he's going to look like. It's not fair to him for me to say that.
It's just a name to watch in preseason and camp.
Well, think about what Nick just said about Kobe Durant, because some people have met, on other podcasts have mentioned that Kobe Durant the Rams didn't want him because they went and got the Kansas City guy. And they were close to the Super Bowl last year. So we got to up our secondary. Let's go get the Kansas City guy, McDuffie. And Durant walks fine, So there's, he might be better here than he would be in the Rams. We don't know yet. So.
Well, I think he's probably so. If he was on the team last year, the Cowboys, he was probably your best cornerback with Bland being on and off the field hurt. Revel, playing kind of back from injury, learning the position, all that. He was probably the best cornerback on the team, honestly. But now he's fighting for starting cornerback spot, and if he doesn't get the starting cornerback spot over Bland or Revel, he'll still get plenty of snaps, plenty of game time. And going back to the Thompson stuff. My goodness, dude, that was obviously your best free agent signing that you've had in years, I think. Instantly elevates that secondary. And now you've paired him with Caleb Downs and what that allows you to do. And Malik Hooker is no slouch. He's not like a great player by any means, but he's your worst safety, right, of your starting safeties. That's a great floor to have. So that allows you to play with three safeties, a nickel, and Downs can be your guy, in that nickel role, or Thompson can also play in that nickel role. You can kind of swap these guys, or you can put Durant. I've seen him mentioned in the nickel role, even though he's more of an outside guy, but he can play in that nickel role. And you have Downs and Thompson. I mean, you've got so many combinations of guys.
PJ Locke even.
PJ Locke too, another forgotten name. That's right.
Yeah.
And he'll get a lot of play on special teams, but you'll see him get some snaps too here and there on defense. And so they've added a bunch of guys that they can play games with to confuse quarterbacks. And guess what, guys? We didn't have that last year. We were an open book defense last season, and regardless of the players that we had, that was the reason this team struggled so bad on defense. It's made it too easy on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No,
I heard about just listening to the Cowboys Collective earlier, and Foots was talking about a guy who knows about from Florida State. He was saying that they were one of the defensive coaches there. They wanted to get Downs when he left Alabama, and they were talking. Downs was asking the coaches, over there, the defensive people over there, goes, what's your scheme like? What's this? I don't think that's going to work. I'm going to go here instead.
Great. I mean, he's a smart dude. What can you say? Downs won't always be in the slot. He'll be all over the field.
No.
And just because he's a nickel guy doesn't mean he's like lined up in the slot in the nickel. He'll be lined up all over the field, but he'll play some slot too.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. To this, shout to Fair Wrestling with the Bros of. He was good on the Rams, but not good enough that they wanted to keep him because he didn't cost a whole lot, right? Sure, McDuffie, 25, Durant, 28. If I could get the 25-year-old, I get him and pay him. But you had to give up a king's ransom to trade for him and pay him an extensive amount. Like what they did to go get McDuffie, if they wanted to keep Durant got what, like a $3.5 million deal, right? And I think Spot Rack had him at his value was 5, so really he came underneath the value of the 5 with a 3.5, I think is what he ended up signing here for him, if I'm not mistaken, Dylan.
Something. Something.
Yeah, so I'm like, if they wanted to keep him, the Rams, McDuffie had nothing to do if the Rams wanted to keep Durant. Now, sometimes you let players go. You just want to redo the room because remember, we got not one but 2 cornerbacks from the Rams.
$4 million 1-year deal.
$4 million. There you go. That's the 3.5. $4 million, right?
Up to 5.5 through incentives.
Right. So. I don't know. I mean, again, I think Durant is a good player, right? Be clear. I'm not saying like where the way the double A's talking about Rashawn Gary as a elite pass rusher from the fan base to me is where I hear Cowboys fans talk about Durant, and I'm like, I don't think he's quite the corner y'all are saying. Not that he's bad, but put the anointing oil away. Shout to Bill Parcells.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to just how bad this defense was last year when I say he's your best cornerback on the field. And again, not that he's bad by any means, but it's just to say that he's an upgrade versus what we had last year. And my hope this year is that I think it's going to be Bland and Revel. I know some people are saying that Durant might fill in for Revel. Revel might take a step back. I don't think that's going to be the case when the time comes. I think it'll be Bland, Revel as CB1 and 2. And I think Durant will get some play time elsewhere throughout the season.
Well, it depends on how healthy Bland will be. If Bland's not healthy enough to start, Durant will be on his replacing Bland, and you got Revel on the other side.
So I guess that would be injuries aside, right? Because Bland is expected to come into camp healthy and participating. But if Bland has a setback or whatever, then that's what it would be at that point.
Get to camp and let the chips fall where they may, right? I mean, that's kind of where it is.
And your backups, cornerbacks would be Carson and Moore.
Yeah, that's another guy too. Look out for Moore as the season goes on. Look for him to get more play time if he's able to develop.
I see what you did there.
And
Well played.
I hope by next year he becomes the guy who can stay healthy, because that's been his big thing. He was a really good player in Florida. He just couldn't stay healthy, right? So if he can stay healthy and develop, then I think he'll be a guy that might start to challenge down the road for a starting role, possibly with a Bland, whose contract could be coming up here at some point. I don't know all the contract details in him, but that could be a guy that could push for a starting spot in a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, I know people are gonna hate on this, but I was saying is that there's a couple of two people who are changing positions. That used to. One is Leofold going from linebacker to an outside linebacker pass rusher, and Sam Williams going from a defensive end to a linebacker to play the pass rusher. So they're at both. Williams has said, I played mostly outline linebacker and rushed the pass rusher with it was a Mississippi or Mississippi State or
I
UMass
think
or
it was
UMass.
Ole Miss. I'm pretty
Ole
sure.
Miss, yeah. And Leofold said that's the position I played when I was with Notre Dame.
Sam Williams is a guy that I don't going back to the excitement versus expectations. I'm not really excited or expect a lot from him, but it's a name that could pop up that I wouldn't be shocked if he ended the season with like 6 sacks or something like that, right? Getting back to a kind of an outside linebacker role, being able to just go in and rush the passer. That's going to be his job, is just to rush the passer. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be shocked. Bold statement alert. Ooh.
No, I don't. I mean, it's there. I mean, the athletic ability has always been there. I mean, it's just what it's been about Sam, and that's why early throughout the process when we were talking about the guys that were in house, would you bring back or let walk? And I was like, it's going to be cheap. I would definitely bring it back and see what the next staff does with him, what they do, and he's going to play a special team story, which is valuable. We understand down the roster you got to have that. As I've always said when it came to him, is if I got to take D-Law's football brain IQ, and throw it into Sam Williams, you might have a top 5 defensive end. He has that kind of athletic capability within him. Does it always click at times, or does his head get over his skis a little bit in moments? It's kind of where it is. But I'm excited, and obviously going back to what he did in college as well, that particular position. And that's what I love about Christian Parker so far, where I'm excited is understanding players and where they should be at. And he gets the pass right now and all that, and understanding how they went through the process. And no matter how much we were frustrated about the linebacker feeling of that void, it went from the legal tampering period throughout the draft and everything to where it is now, to the guys that they are moving and where it's at and what we might think about a particular player we should be here or there. Is they for sure have a vision and feel like they have an understanding where these players can absolutely give their best to this team and where they're lining them up. And I don't think it's tricks or smoke screens of trying to hide a player or this is your last opportunity to this position. I think they truly have an identified role that they want these guys to play, which identity-wise or just team-wise, we just haven't had that here in a long time. I don't think Byron Jones was ever – it wasn't Byron Jones here or there. It seemed like they just didn't know what to do with Byron Jones, kind of going back in the bag a little bit. So I like that version of this defense and where it is. And here's your opportunity on a deal to get after him. If not, we know he's going to. He can play gunner for you on special teams. I mean, think about it. We're talking about the edge. Has literally played gunner in regular season games. Just speaks to his athletic ability, what he's able to do. Can they corral that and find a way to put that athletic ability on display within the scheme? Could be a guy, Dylly, that, hey, if we woke up at the end of this year and, man, he had 5 to 6.5 sacks, it wouldn't surprise me at all because the capability is there. You just got to unlock it. And that's what we've been for the past 2 years or maybe even 3 years with him. Of course, he had the injury, so there was that.
Well, it's always kind of wait and see with him. And he'll go out and he'll make a really great play. He'll go block a punt, and then he'll have a stupid penalty, a play later or something. So, again, he just needs to put some games together because he's had moments. He's got to put those moments together, string them together, and actually start to have a good NFL career because he could at the end of the day. It's not
All right, we're about an hour into this. We got a couple of questions before we get out of here. Don't hold y'all too long on a Friday night. You might have so many things to go do. And Dilly's slowly fading over here. Got to get my man some chicken noodle soup.
My
some
voice is getting
meds.
scratchier and scratchier as we go. I'm dying.
Real quick, though, if you could only choose one player guaranteed to play all 17 games next year, who are you going with? Bland, Overshown, or Guyton? Rick, as the guest. Rick, we'll toss it up to you, good sir. Thanks for joining and having a good time with us on this Friday.
It'll be a toss up between Overshow and Guyton, but
You got to pick one, Rick. Come on.
I'll go with probably Guyton.
Going with Guyton. All right. Well, Dilly, who you going with? Bland, Overshown, or Guyton?
I just want to say Guyton from a curiosity standpoint. If he can stay healthy, like what can he do? Right? Where's he at in his development? And I think I've said it a bunch of times now. This offense, this season might be determined by your tackle play. That's both Guyton and Steele. So I think Guyton is a super important piece to stay healthy. As much as I want Bland and really Overshown, because Overshown's my guy. That's one of my favorite players in the team. But I'll go with Guyton.
And for our trust, I don't care who's playing with left tackle. I think he gets it done. Man, give me Overshown. Give me Overshown. Let's get that guy through a season healthy. Let's see what this thing looks like defensively. And a contract year. Yeah, I'm gonna go Overshown. I don't think there's look. You can make an argument for any of those. I think it's a great question, by the way. Appreciate that, Sports 78. You can make a case for any of those three guys and not be wrong. Ultimately, it's what box of cereal you like the most, right? And coming in here from Double A says, who helps Downs' learning curve into the NFL more? Players, obviously Thompson or Locke, or even Malik Hooker, or to Christian Parker. Where would you go there?
Malik Hooker out of that Double A.
Yeah. That's why I had to make sure I had to throw him in there.
I'm gonna have to tweet that out. See if we get a Turpin style response.
Oh well, relax.
I guess I'll start this one. I'll go Christian Parker.
I was gonna say Christian Parker too.
Yeah, I mean he's known around the league as a defensive back guru. You saw on the quick video the Cowboys released a couple weeks ago. Sounds to the sideline. Christian Parker's just the guy that knows ball, man, and he's passionate. Seems like a really good teacher. And listen, this hiring process, they specifically wanted teachers of football, people who could communicate and connect with the players. And so I think for that reason, Christian Parker's the guy that I go with.
Sounds like a Brian Broaddus question.
Man, that's a great question. And the learning curve into the NFL, right? It's the terminology that he used there a little bit for me, the learning curve. And I think the learning curve into the NFL, that gives me a little bit more into are we on the field, like in a game type situation. But then I kind of look at that in myself and I'm like, well, that's the nuances though too, right? And I think the players are really going to help him in the nuance factor at times, right? Insert any name there, Thompson, Malik Hooker, Locke. I think the learning curve into the NFL and why he's in the position is the work that he has done. We've heard forget the guys that he coached up to all pros over there in Philly. We'll take all the way back to Denver and Justin Simmons, safety, right? And talked a lot about Parker and what he was able to do for them and where they're at. So I'm going to go Parker for the learning curve into the NFL and what it's going to take at this level. But I think when we talk about the nuances in moments on the field and where they're at, I do think that'll be a little bit more player oriented in that realm. But the learning curve into the NFL, give me Parker there.
There's also the element too of just like how do you be a pro? And I don't know enough about Thompson and Locke. I know Thompson's a really good player. I'm assuming he's a great pro off the field and all that. There's more to it than just where do you line up and what do you do when the ball's snapped, right? There's how do you practice well? What kind of how do you study? Now I don't know if Downs needs help with some of those kind of intellectual activities, but those are the kind of things that you do look to the professionals, the other pro players to help you out with as a young guy.
I think when Derek Winston was on the Doing All Right podcast, he was talking about when he came into the league, the person that helped him out was Roy Williams. All right. And then he was like, I'm gonna pay forward when the next person comes on. I'm gonna teach him.
More concern hitting into camp. Pass rush, cornerback depth.
Pass rush.
Pass rush for you.
Yeah.
Pass rush. Are y'all okay? Are we into the chicken before the egg? Hey, if the pass rush is fine, the cornerback will be fine.
It can go either way.
It can, but more times than not, though, right? But more times than not,
it's the cornerback.
See, to me, I feel like if the rush is getting home consistently, I mean, I can man up a little bit, just hold on for a second and a half, we'll be okay.
But yeah, but
I don't know.
Well, maybe we don't know about I was gonna say we know more about the corners than we do the pass rush, but we really don't because this is Rebels' first healthy season. Bland,
right.
We don't really know what to expect from Bland.
Is the left foot is the left foot going to be back to normal?
Yeah. Does he still have a left foot? I mean, who knows at this point? Durant is new here, and then you got Butler, Carson. These guys have been hurt behind them. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, everybody's supposedly healthy right now on defense in the secondary, so
best shape of their life season.
I'm okay with that. Oh, Overshown's got 2 new knees. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
better
for
knees
sure.
Than anybody else in the NFL, but
yeah.
No, I'm okay with the corners as they sit right now. I'm not fully confident in them, but I'm more confident in that room than I am the pass rush because last year we sat here and watched quarterbacks have 6 seconds at times to throw the ball, and Rashawn Gary's not a guy that's going to get after the quarterback a ton on a consistent basis. He'll do a lot of cleanup stuff, help other guys get home. Can Malachi Lawrence be a guy in passing situations where he gets home? Can Ezeraku, he's got a hit, but year 2 Ezeraku, he had a lot of pressures last season. He did really well as a rookie, just didn't get the sack numbers. Can he develop in year 2 even though he's got a hit and get to the quarterback? Are Quinnen and Kenny going to get that pressure from the inside? I'm confident in Quinnen and Kenny to an extent, but that's about it on that defensive line for the pass rush standpoint.
Yeah, with Bobby Belt lost his hair over that. He had Ezeraku got I think 5 sacks or more, and they only got like 2.5.
Yeah, I think right now I'm more concerned about the cornerback room than I am the pass rush personally. Is where I'm at too. Is just health. What's it going to look like? I mean, once we get to camp, we'll see things. But I think there's more ingredients in the pass rush room to be okay than where we are at when it comes to cornerback. And we can talk about the star position, what that's going to mean from the slot action when those different safeties are going to do things and how we could be multiple at that star position as well, too. Whether we're talking about Thompson, whether we're talking about Downs, whether you want to throw out Overshown out there, what he can do from that position, depending on the look that you're getting and operate. But I think right now, just from the overall, we like Ravel coming back and being healthy, no brace. It's great. Okay, Durant apparently is Deion Sanders now to a lot of Cowboys fans. I'm joking, tongue-in-cheek in there a little bit, but everyone's pretty excited, and that's fine. I'm not mad at the excitement. The left foot of Bland, is it really going to be okay? We have to wait and see. And guys, I mean, outside of those 3, and that's who we kind of feel like going into this thing is those 3. Where's your confidence level? Sure, Carson was good last year when he was healthy, right? Possibly your best cornerback, but I mean, he's not been healthy yet, so we're still right back at that altar of health, if you will, because he's yet to stay healthy. Butler, we loved what Butler was doing prior to the injury, that basically gets him out all last year. Where's he at now? And he's a little bit older. The Ricky Moore, what can he bring to the table as compared to when we're having the conversation about edge? Okay, there's things with Ezeraku. Oh, you have Malachi Lawrence as a first-round pick. Rashawn Gary can get things done for you, right? I mean, they're the top 3 just there alone before I even go any further down the line, right, is, to me, infinitely in a better spot than where the cornerback top 3 is in line right now currently. So as it stands right now, before we go to camp, it would definitely be cornerbacks. I would be more concerned than edge or pass rush.
From a group standpoint, I'm okay with the D-line, including the edges and all that, against the run, right? And I think that if we just take a step back from like the groups and we just look at how this thing's going to work, I think this team will be really good against the run defensively. Every single one of their players that they've added or have proven to be good run-stopping defenders. Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, great against the run. Donovan Ezeraku was surprisingly good against the run last year. So I think that they'll be okay against the run. And what that does now is it allows you to play more guys back in the secondary, right? You don't got to put 8 guys in the box to stop the run. You don't got to commit all these players. You can go play 2 high safeties, right? And prevent them from.
And that's the idea of this defense for sure is stop the run with a 6-man front.
Right. Exactly. And so, that kind of plays into my thing of, well, I think that only helps to solidify that cornerback room when you look at how this defense is going to be played with more safety help and more guys back most of the time.
I have one thing is that the only thing I think is that what Kyle Jones would used to say is, say it with your chest on his show. But I would say that I think they're going to be the pass rush sacking is going to be 35 or above. Because last year I think they had 25.
Yeah, that number's got to go up. No ifs, ands, or buts. The number has to go up.
Well, they'll scheme some stuff up, right? They'll play a lot of. I would assume they will play some 5-man fronts, which is opposite of what I was talking about. But they'll play some, get Barham in there and whoever else will send downs on some blitzes. Like they'll manufacture some stuff to get some sacks. It's not just going to be rushing 4 guys play after play after play like we saw last season.
Let's grab the last question for the evening. Coming out here from SoCal. Do we think it will be even more under the center pass game stuff this year? Seems like that's what Dak worked on this offseason and followed up, which is true. Shoddy wants the under center play action involved way more this season. So, I mean, Shoddy wants it. Dak's worked on it. I think it's for now, right? Well, obviously, when we get to the games, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, excuse me. I think that's probably something they want to get to more this year. But can they execute it and ultimately get there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer it in camp. We'll see. We'll see what they're doing in camp.
It's one of those things, right? Of there's a lot of things that are said this time of the year in plans and whatnot. Then we get to the regular season, and we just don't see it. Whether we can go back in times where, oh man, this guy's going to be in the slot a whole bunch. We can't wait to do this, that, and the third, and then we get there and nothing comes to fruition when it comes to it. So I think it's expectation. I think Shoddy's career as an offensive coordinator before becoming a head coach. I think there's some things that he wants to get to and that he likes to do. Absolutely. And Dak's capable, right? This isn't a situation where Dak can't do it. But I think they'll get to camp and put it into practice and see what it looks like and how they're able to go. What was the, just like a few years ago, like pre-snap motion was so big, right? And during camp, all this pre-snap motion was going on. Look at this. Whoa, boy, we were so happy at camp. Man, look at all this motion. And then we got to the regular season, and what motion? What you talking about?
The same thing with we got to give Lipke more touches.
Yeah, every year Lipke more touches, and then we get there, and it doesn't. Right, big facts.
I'll say this: if they're playing more under center, and AA kind of says something here. Defense is better; you'll be able to play under center more. But if you're playing under center more, that allows you to play more 12 and 13 personnel as well, which probably means they're running the ball more because this team's going to play. They played the most 11 personnel of any team last season.
Yep.
It'll probably be the same thing this season. But I wonder if this defense is better and good enough to keep teams at 20, 21 points. Maybe you do see them oftentimes in the second half, specifically lining up under center more often, that 12 or 13 personnel, and start to just run the ball down these teams' throats and put these games away.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because as we had the conversation, and I've talked about this a lot, mainly in the spaces at times when it goes around, I'm like, last year, you cracked me up because people would be like, "Oh, they should run the ball more and kill the clock." There was a particular game we ended up losing. I forgot what the game was now, and it was in the space, and they were going off. I said, we won time of possession, right?
Like every week almost, we won time.
Yeah, they're like, "No way!" I was like, "No, yeah, go look it up. We literally just won time of possession and still got beat." Like, unfortunately, it was one of those anomalies of as well as much as we were winning time of possession, it just wasn't helping because the defense was just getting shellacked so many times and so much.
3-play drives, 4-play drives for touchdowns, right, against this defense. It was all the time.
Now, the same thing with the last year's defense. If there was like 5 or 6 games, maybe 7 games that were one-score games, we had, if we would just won those games, even with that defense, we'd be in the playoffs with even though it's just the worst defense we had.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the stats now. It looks like it was eight games they won the time of possession, but even the games that didn't win the time of possession, it was very close, like 29 minutes, 28 minutes, 29 minutes.
But the defense is better. You start doing that, and so you start thumping that second half. Then hopefully that's where the dam breaks, and you're going to be in a better position for what it is. All right, one word. All right, one word here because he said one more question. All right, and then we're wrapping. All right, Cooper Beebe, does he take a jump at center to being even better? Just simple yes or no. You gotta go too far. Yes or no. What do you think, Rick?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
why do you think he's gonna be better, Rick? Go ahead. Let's hear it real quick.
Well, I think it's just a second year being the center and getting more power and everything to and calling plays or something. So hiking the ball, getting better at that, and getting up to blocking whoever the defensive defenders are coming, the defensive tackles that are coming, like the Jalen Carters and all those people there. That our center core is going to be the toughest and one of the best center cores in the league.
Yeah. I think it's second year in the scheme, right? Third year overall so far. The injury obviously set him back some last year, but I think you saw some things within his game that you liked where it was progressing to. Maybe not the biggest jump I'll speak for me. I won't say for everybody else, but I thought we'd see a bigger jump from year 1 to year 2. But I do think the injury kind of set that back a little bit for him. I think because of that, the jump I think we'll see a nice jump from him this year. I'm a buyer.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and watched all of his tape. I'm not gonna watch tape on the center. I'm just not gonna do it.
Trust the honesty.
I don't have that kind of time. But there weren't many problems from the interior 3 last season. And I think as this interior 3, because they're all young, as they continue to grow and develop, I think BB is included in that, right? And I think the 3 of them are going to continue to make each other better and elevate each other's games as they get older together.
Oh, absolutely. Big facts, man. Well, all right, we'll put a pin in it. We'll definitely put a pin in it right there. Man, appreciate everybody on a Friday coming through, kicking it with us. We'll probably get some more of these things in and whatnot. And super excited to get after it. As always, make sure you hit the likes, right? Hit sub, join the notification gang so you don't miss anything, because we are doing the lives weekly, but we also, Dylly's hard at work, and we're recording and we're dropping stuff almost every day. So you don't want to miss out on anything that we got going and whatnot. So we appreciate everybody. And did we get the Discord dropped in the chat, Dylly? I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah, it's in go check the video description. The Discord link's in the video description. Just copy that into your browser from your phone or your computer. It'll take you right into our Discord, and you can join up and chat with us there and everybody else in the community.
Bingo. Rick, once again, thank you, Rick.
I'd like to thank Dylan and Nick for letting me join, and have a good night.
Yes, sir. Y'all enjoy. Rick was awesome tonight. Y'all enjoy your weekend. I got Cuts in the building. What up, Cuts? Always good to see you stopping by, homie. Y'all be safe, be blessed. Enjoy your weekend.
Cowboys Nation.